All right, so this is one of our best performing campaigns, and I figured that I would just kind of do a reverse engineer of why it worked and try to give some reasoning behind it because this campaign itself has been featured on, or this copy that I wrote has been featured on two podcasts and one review from someone that saw it. This campaign got loads and loads and loads of unique replies, as you can see with 5.7. And I was only counting positive replies as booked meetings at that point in time. So, as you can see, around 150 contacts per so or so to generate one meeting. So, it was doing really good in terms of booking meetings. But for the other 80 replies that were in here, it was loads of them that were just saying, "Oh my God, this like I don't necessarily need this service right now, but I love the copy. Thank you for sending this. Who do you use for outreach? Who rates your emails, so on and so forth." So to kind of just get into the copy itself and to break it down, I'm just gonna go straight into the campaign here. Um, First, with the leads themselves, these leads I scraped from Apollo. I scraped for marketing agency owners or marketing and advertising CEOs in Massachusetts because it was for a videography studio that did video content for creators in Massachusetts. So that's why we scraped there. What I did is use a little bit of clay enrichment. I verified it through dbounce, and inside of here, we set up some copy. So as you can see, we we set up the copy in a long format, and most of the time we see email campaigns that work well. They're usually really short, under 50 words or so. I even recommend it for some of my consulting clients. And when I get on with new clients, I try to take the shortest route as possible with the email. People don't have the time to read 200 200 some odd words, but this one, for instance, was 209 words, depending on which syntax variation you got. But what really made the difference here was personalization, and it wasn't doing it through clay. It wasn't doing it with like some really top of the line witty kind of stupid first liners that people use all the time of like, "Oh, saw you went to uh saw you went to Northwestern, heard it gets cold in the winter." Like, step it up a little bit. This was relevant. So it was more or less that I was targeting people in Massachusetts. Let's just get into it. Subject line, you know a guy. In Massachusetts, granted I have the benefit of being from Mass, but in Massachusetts, you will all the time hear the reference of like, "Oh, I got a guy for that." "Oh, you know a guy?" "Yeah, I got one." It's like, "No, you need an HVAC guy?" "I got one." "You need a guy for your gutters?" "I got one." So that's the reason. That's the reason why we use this. And then it led immediately into the first line. So I try to back up my subject line right next to the first line. Okay, so hey Nora, isn't it awesome how massholes, whoa, always know one guy for everything? A sprinkler guy, gutter guy, lobster guy. You got a content guy yet? So it was a perfect combination of teasing someone through the subject line. You know a guy. Weird. You usually don't get that inside of your email inbox. Then you hit him with the first name. Isn't it awesome how massholes? Boom. If you're from Massachusetts, you hear massholes, you're like, how, alright, I'm going to open it. You know that one guy for everything. A sprinkler guy, gutter guy, lobster guy, you got a content guy. And I said sprinkler, gutter because those are kind of interchangeable services. But lobster, I made sure it was in every single syntax version. Why lobster? Again, it's just Massachusetts. You got a content guy, so then it teases into the service. Okay. With quick turnaround times, exceptional quality, beats any competitor's price. Now I'm kind of setting it up almost like a direct response. I have history and direct response, but we want to feed into this, because when you set it up with the first line like this, you can't just, we did X for Y company in A to B timeline without using pain point. It's like, nah, you gotta go in a little bit deeper. So we said we could turnaround times, exceptional quality, and beat 10 competitors in price. Not to mention, you can even tell your friends you're the content guy's boss. Eyes emoji. Even more interesting, we white label our creative content services to marketing agencies en masse who don't have the capital to fund new equipment and in-house team, but know how crucial creating content is to stay relevant in today's game. So it tells you exactly what they do right there. We white label creative content services to agencies en masse, using local terms there, mass, who don't have the capital to fund new equipment and in-house team, but know how crucial creating content is to stay relevant. So they're problem aware. If they're not, they're aware now, because the problems are new equipment, funding new equipment, and having an in-house team. You also know that the problem of staying relevant in today's game is creating content. So for your clients, you want to add on the additional white label service. It's just a perfect offer. All you have to do is tell us where your clients are located, set up the shoot, and within 3 days, you'll be handed video content, either to be given to your clients or used as ammo for other digital forms of marketing inside your agency. So we're saying, without any point of implementation of yourself, you don't have any service delivery to do. You just tell us where they are, and in 3 days, you're handed the video content. So you can either use it for them, like other ways of doing digital marketing for your client, or using it again inside of your own agency. So perfect scenario. This is usually the part where the sender asks you for a call to discuss this further, but I prefer talking with coffee instead. So again, a long-winded CTA, but it's off the beaten path. Everything in here is a pattern disruptor, and that's what I look for the most when it comes to cold email. So this is usually the part where the sender asks for a call to discuss this further. I like talking with coffee instead. And then, how's Grace Note Coffee on Lincoln Street, either April 24th or April 25th? Cheers, my client. Then the last part, P.S. we work on flat month-to-month terms. This means no binding contracts or overpaying on individual projects. Now, this is because I work closely with my client to understand what all those objections were beforehand. So to understand your objections, you can kind of address them in the PS line, and it's almost similar to a sales scenario where you want to identify the objections beforehand and handle it before you even get to the closing time, before you even talk about price. But we kind of did both of those at once. The last thing they'll talk about is just the Grace Note Coffee on Lincoln Street. So this person, Nor Moresi, at arn.com, ARN, whatever town she lived in, I'm not going to pull it up, but whatever town she lived in, this is the highest rating coffee shop in her area. So for the highest rating coffee shop in her area, to recommend it based off of her LinkedIn, of course. So say she was in Wilmington. In Wilmington, Grace Note Coffee was the highest rated, and it's on Lincoln Street. Then we use Liquid Syntax. This, which suggests, thank you, Renee, for showing me this, but it suggests the next 2 days in line. So if it was today, we'd say, is it either October 14th or October 15th? Perfect. And that's about it. So the great thing about this, we had like a few different, we had a few different responses. This is when we were getting like really silly with the email copy. And I was sending, like I had in here the emojis. This one I was sending this email message, the photo, and we were just kind of having fun with it. But it was a lot of fun to run this campaign. We got really good results. My client was able to have quite a bit of discovery calls from this, and yeah, low bounce rate as well. Like back in the day, you were able to send whatever you wanted. Back in the day, I'm talking 6 months ago or less. Actually, less than 6 months ago. It's crazy how things have changed. But yeah, that was a breakdown of the copy that went really well with me. Like I said, this has gotten me highlights on LinkedIn. Shout out by Clay, Smart Lead, and Hunter. So really appreciate you guys sticking around. Hope this made sense. If you have any questions, copywriting related, feel free to send them my way. And I'll see you in the next video.